What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tirfon Orbital. I would like to talk about an Ocularis today. I'm no stranger to the Ocularis. In fact, I think this might make it a baker's dozen that I've done an install on the Ocularis, right? I am not going to say how much I love this hilt. I'm not going to say how amazing this hilt is. I'm not going to say how much of a fantastically great hilt this is for modifications and etching, and how great of a blank canvas hilt this is. I've said that time and time again. I probably sound like a broken record, so I'm not going to repeat myself, right? I have said it all before. It's a great hilt. That's the last time I will say that in this video, I promise, right? So, but I do want to come into Fusion and talk about the chassis for this one. I did do a different chassis for this Ocularis. So this will be the third chassis that I have designed for this particular hilt, right? This is a crystal reveal chassis that was done in PLA carbon fiber. So I want to come into Fusion and talk about that. And then obviously we'll come up top, talk about the how to use the hilt, and then we will do a demo, right? So without further ado, let's come into Fusion. All right, so here it is, the chassis. Pretty straightforward, right? Am I making you sick and dizzy? Right. So at the bottom, 28 millimeter speaker at the bottom. I do have some wire channels for wire management, right? I've got two channels where I bring my kill switch leads, my negative battery lead, all of the way up to the Proffie board, right up in here, right? Proffie board sits in this tray. It does kind of slide up underneath this lip. Kill switch is down in here. 28 millimeter speaker at the bottom. I think I mentioned that already. That is from Smuggler's Outpost. Okay. I do have some light greebly work on both sides of the chassis. Okay. The main chassis was printed in PLA carbon fiber. The greebly panels were done in resin. Okay. And then I prep and paint the entire chassis itself. And then I did a pass of pewter rub and buff. Okay. The customer for this particular install wanted a crystal reveal chassis, but they did not want to go with the special hybrid chassis that I did for this, right? So I did design a regular chassis, crystal reveal chassis for this one, right? So there is a single neopixel underneath a crystal here. These corrugated tubes are where I bring my wires up to the PCB and the switches up through here, right? So my wires are coming through these two tubes, okay? They come all the way up through here. And that's it, right? So this upper section, this is where I attach the marble holder and the upper PCB holder, right? That is provided with the hilt itself. And that's it. Just some random ridges and grooves, some windows here, and that's it. So this is another example of why I love PLA carbon fiber, PETG carbon fiber. This stuff is awesome. There's no way I would have been able to get away with doing a chassis like this in full resin. I mean, I would have been able to print it, but I would not have been comfortable shipping this off to the customer. This is just so thin, right? I mean, this is in resin. This would have had such a high potential for breakage, right? But it being in PLA carbon fiber, this entire chassis, all right, so here's a perfect example, right? I'm going to come down to the bottom. Here's a perfect example. This is actually installed, but this chassis is in PLA carbon fiber. I was carrying this up the stairs the other day. And I shit you not, I dropped this. It fell down a full flight of stairs and nothing happened to it. And my heart skipped a beat, because if this was in resin, this would have shattered. Either something would have chipped off of it, like down here where the speaker is. That's usually where I used to get a lot of breakage. Or something would have shattered. It would have broken half. but it's just, I mean, I probably could drop this off the top of my building and it would probably be okay. It's just so much more robust and strong, right? But a chassis like this, where you've got, very thin overhangs and things like that, doing it in resin is just really, really tricky, especially if it's a long chassis. Like if you were to like drop a hilt with a chassis that's in resin, a static chassis like that, it's just a high probability for breakage, right? So I'm just really, really loving printing in PLA carbon fiber. It's been great. PLA, all PLA. It's been really, really cool, right? So anyhow, let's come up top. Okay, so here it is, the Ocularis. I'm not going to say it. So here is the Ocularis, okay? Let's talk about how to use this guy first. So twist lock grip. So you want to undo this knurled thumb screw, okay? Twist your grip. Here is the chassis, okay? Battery trays here. Obviously, there is that 28mm speaker. I do have a quartz point in that crystal chamber that is lit from below with one single neopixel. Around back, we have a Proffie V3, and there is our kill switch, okay? This also has a marble, custom glass marble from Noah Drew. This was provided by the customer. I happen to think that Noah Drew marbles look really, really cool in these hilts. So you've got a super unique hilt. When you put a very, very unique marble in them, it's just like icing on the cake, right? In my opinion. This one's got, I always forget what Noah puts in the center of these marbles, but there's like a black onyx thing in the center of it. I always forget. But yeah, really, really unique looking marble, okay? So let's get ourselves a battery. All right, so spring side is your negative. Spring side is towards the speaker. Take the flat part of your battery, put that down towards the speaker, put that in your battery tray, hit that kill switch if you don't hear anything. So, right then. So the crystal has it, okay. So the crystal is its own blade in the config, the marble is its own blade in the config, and then obviously you have your emitter as its own blade. I did set the marble and the main blade up as subblades, right, in the config, and to the customer, you'll see that shown as that in your config, okay? So once you get your battery in, slide your grip in place, twist it to lock it down, and then twist your thumb screw, and then you're good to go. All right, let's come down to the bottom. So there's that Noah Drew marble. So to the customer, you did have some specific font requests, and I was able to oblige and put those on there. Some of these fonts are very interesting. I have not heard some of them. I kind of like them. I sometimes like hearing unique fonts. So let's put a blade in it. Okay, so there is a blade plug in this. I think this was sent with the hilt. So I'm going to take that out. There is a knurled thumb screw up top. Let me turn my fan off. All right, so there's a knurled thumb screw up top that will serve as your blade retention. So just rest your blade on those PCB pins, tighten your knurled thumb screw down, and you're ready to go. Yes, this is another request. In preparation for the Christmas season, I guess. A lot of really unique fonts. I've never heard of a lot of these. One more.
Kyber shuttle.
That one I've heard of. Kyber shuttle I've heard of. All right, so that's it. That was the Ocularis from Ignition Saber. I don't think I've even said who this hilt is from, right? So this is the Ocularis from Ignition Saber Company in Azys Workshop. This was sent to me by the customer already wrapped. I'm going to say it one more time. Great hilt. Fantastic hilt, right? So anyhow, to the customer, thank you very much for trusting me with your hilt. If anyone has any questions about this particular hilt or this install, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.